everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to some more GTA 5, where today we're going to be checking out another brand new car from the latest update DLC for GTA 5. And it is this beautiful classic Japanese sports car. That is the KLIM 190Z. This is of course supposed to be based on the 240Z, the classic Nissan 240Z, as you can see from the front. And it's also got a lot of design from the Toyota 2000 GT. Now I should probably point out that this is actually thanks to MG Games 100, who has given me a list of all the new cars and all the real cars that they are inspired from. Because actually, to be honest, I wouldn't have guessed 2000 GT. I mean, the back lights, back bumpers sort of thing, you can sort of see it. And I guess the body shape too. I don't know, I just never would have thought of it. But definitely from the front, as you can see, classic Nissan 240Z. But this is a KLIM and not an Anis, so this is supposed to be based on some other form of Japanese car. Is the KLIM like the Toyota of the GTA world? There's only really two Japanese things. There's Mayabatsu, actually, there's three, isn't there? Mayabatsu, Anis, and KLIM. I don't know, this feels like it shouldn't really be a KLIM, but we're not going to dive into whether this fits inside the lore of GTA because this was made by Rockstar. So there's actually loads and loads of tuning parts for this one today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one build, which I'm going to do just like I've done all the rest of them inside of Los Santos Customs, and that's going to be my online build, as to say a build that you could do in online. And then after that, we're going to be using this V-Stancer, and we're going to be using this Quant 5, and that is because menus is not being updated until February, which means we don't have Object Spooner, we don't have the proper menus customs, we're having to use different trainers in order to modify cars inside of the game if I want to actually modify them out in the real world instead of using Los Santos Customs or anything. So things are going to be a little bit different from here on out, or at least until menus gets updated, and then we can slip back into the norm. But before we actually go and modify this thing, this is drive up to Los Santos Customs, there's going to be some comments on the screen. These are comments featured from the previous video. If you would like your comments featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll pick some at random and feature them at the start of the next video. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter at Figureight. Links for my Twitter are in the description below. And also I have an Instagram. I've been trying to plug that a lot lately, _Figureight for my Instagram. There'll be a link in the description for that as well. And that is great timing. Ooh, for a nice little... Okay, that was terrible. Now, that was going to be great timing because I was going to just finish that right outside of Los Santos Customs, but we had a bit of a glitch there. But here we are. So let's jump in for our first of 3 builds and see if we can't make something really awesome. Okay, so here we are in the dark, dingy garage of Los Santos Customs. So let's start with, interestingly, arch covers, because the thing is, Los Santos Customs works by alphabetical order and not so much logic. This is where I miss menus mod, because it just had it in just the right flow to modify a car, I felt, apart from the paint, which probably could have been done moving down. But nonetheless, we'll just have to come back to the arch covers, because I want to start with bumpers, first of all. So actually, let's just go with some race brakes to start. Front bumpers, so we have the stock front bumper. I'll just try and zoom in as much as we can. Then we have the removed bumper, which just gets rid of that bar. We have the custom bumper, which is a smaller version of that one. Then we have the exposed bumper, which is this nice splitter down the bottom, and it gets rid of the bumper. Then we have that in secondary, which is apparently chrome for this current car. Then we have the carbon one. Then we have the sticker bomb. Then we have the tuner bumper, which is just that nice custom bumper with the splitter down the bottom. Then we have that in secondary, carbon, and sticker bomb. I mean, this is the car. I mean, I really talked about it with the Sultan, but this is another car that you just do not want to sticker bomb stuff. Why is this the thing? Why are Rockstar still pushing this? I guess it's just an easy texture that they have on hand to go. There you go, there's another part for you. So there's a sports bumper, and presumably we'll have that in awful... I mean, secondary colour probably wouldn't look too bad if it wasn't chrome. Yeah, and then the sticker bomb versions as well. Then we have the drift bumper as well, which is just like a bumperless version of that one. And again, secondary, sticker bomb, and that's that done. Sadly, that one wasn't in carbon. Mind you, I guess there's carbon down the bottom, so it doesn't really matter. So, what am I going to pick? I feel like for this first one, for my online build, I'm actually going to make something really nice, subtle, and classic. So actually, I'm just going to go with the custom bumper. That's it. Then for the rear bumpers, let's see what we got. We got the stock. We got removed rear bumpers, which looks pretty nice. Just really cleans that whole rear end up for me, and definitely makes it look a bit more like the 2000 GT, I'd say. Definitely a lot more of a classic look. Then we have the hook bracket, which adds these little dimple things. Then we have that with a tow hook. Then we have the stock bracket. Oh, that's the stock bumper and the bracket. Then we have that one with the tow hook as well. Then we have the extended bumper, which adds that massive bar in the middle on both sides. And it's really annoying with this thing here. If I try and rev to get rid of that. There you go, now you can see it. Although now I've just got a really loud revving engine. So then we have the extended kit, which has the hook brackets. Then we have the tow hook. Then we have the secondary colour one in different versions. And then we have the bolstered bumper, which is just a really weird looking thing. And then we also have that with the hook and the tow bar thing, the tow hook thing there. And that's it. Now I can stop revving. Whew! Probably going to have to turn that video down just a that bit, because that's going to get pretty annoying. That was just so you can see the rear bumpers, because we've got a massive amount of vapour coming out those exhausts. So I'm going to pick... If I'm going to go for a nice classic look, I'm actually just wanting to go for the hook bracket. I think that looks really nice. So now, let's move on to the arch covers. So I think I'm actually going to keep this build stock, but we'll have a look. So we have that, then the basic arches, and definitely you can see that this is... why would anyone pick these in online? Because without V-Stancer, that looks awful. Unless we go to the custom wheels and realise that everything fits in which case, fair enough. But I have a feeling that it's not, and it's going to look just as stupid as it does now with really thin wheels that just do not fit in the arches. Without V-Stancer, it looks awful. But that's why we have V-Stancer. The next build, we're definitely going to be using V-Stancer to bring those wheels out in the arches. Then we have that one, the secondary colour, carbon. Then we have the bolted versions. Then we have that one, carbon version. Then we have the trimmed, which is a... I see, on the front arch there, you can see it's actually been trimmed down there on one side. Anything to the rear? Nothing to the rear, just that bit on the front changes. Then we have that in secondary carbon. Then we have the basic arch kit, which also has a whole bit down the bottom, a whole skirt going the whole way across. So then we have that one, then we have that secondary carbon, and then we have the bolted versions in those colours. And then we also have the trim versions. It's basically just that one with the side skirts added on. For this one, as I said, I wanted to keep this classic, and of course, because we don't have V-Stancer for this first build, it's going to look stupid with the arches, so I'm going to go stock for now. Moving on, let's just go for some engine. Now, there are some engine mods that we can do, but you might notice that we can't see them in Los Santos Customs, and thankfully, in the bonnet section, in the hood section, we can remove the hood. So, let's just go down and do that now. So, let me remove that, go back up to the engine block, and here we are. So, I'm going to have to zoom in as much as I can. We have the stock, then we have the textured block, then we have the chrome detail, then we have the primary, then we have the secondary. Again, we've already got a chrome one, so it's just another version of the chrome. In fact, the secondary version with chrome color looks more chrome than the chrome. Anyway, then we have the carbon detail and the sticker bomb. Then we have the texture one with the cam belt cover as well. And then we just basically have those in chrome, primary, secondary, carbon, and sticker bomb. Now, I love exposed pulleys, so I'm going to go, I think, for the primary color, because I just want that to match in whatever color we choose. So that's nice. But we're not really going to see it, because we're going to have the bonnet back on in a minute. But just so you guys can enjoy the full build on this first one. So then we have some strut braces. These are just the standard strut braces that we've come to expect from cars that Rockstar make. I will say, though, that this triangulated strut brace, isn't that triangulated bit at the back supposed to rest on the back and attach? It just floats there? That looks a bit wrong. Is that right? I don't know. And then we move on. We've got sticker bomb and all this whatever. I'm going to go for the lightened racing strut brace just because it looks really cool and old school. Then we also have on engine detail quite a lot of different carb kits, it seems. We have the muscle carburetor. As you can see, that's just some nice independent throttle bodies, nice big horns. But that sounds lovely in real life. Then we have this one with a different GT radiator. Then the muscle kit, which is basically the carburetor with that radiator. Then we also have the GT kit, which adds these air filters to the carbs. Then we have, that's a carbon version. Then we have the sports radiator, which also adds a little oil cooler, I think that is down there, with the 190Z badging. Then we have that in the sports muscle and the air filters and the carbon air filters. I'm going to go for, I think, the sports muscle kit, because that looks really nice. So onto the exhausts, we have, I'm going to probably rev so you can actually see these. I'm definitely going to turn this game audio down so you can't hear this. So we have the stock, we have the big bore exhausts, we have the rally exhaust with the titanium tip. Not a fan of that. These look massive, by the way. Grossly massive, I would say. Carbon rally exhaust again, which also has the titanium tip. Not a fan. Then we have the side pipe exhaust, which now brings it over to the side, as you can see there. And then we have the quad pipe, which is... Oh, it's up there. Oh, that looks nice. That is cool. Then we have the 6-stack, which is basically just a larger 6-stack version of the 4. Then we have the flush hood exhausts. That's nice. I like that one. That looks really upper class, I'd say, for like a resto mod, but also trying to look professional. Then we have the vented quad, just has that vent on the right-hand side. Then we have the 6-stack. Then we have the vented. Then we have the hexad exhaust, which is... Oh, it's down there, look. We've got 6 coming out the side there. Look very nice. Then we have that version with... Oh, there we go, with the vented on the top. And then the exposed side exhaust, which basically just doesn't have that body panel in there to finish. Now, I'm going to make this classic car. There's actually one more. Oh, there's the vented version of that one. As I'm making this classic, I don't really want any of these. But the problem that I have is that the stock exhaust is the smallest, but it's still really big. I wanted something smaller. I didn't want anything massive. I wanted a nice classic look for the first one with some nice thin pipes. Instead, we get these horrible big ball things. So I'm actually, possibly, even though it gives this awful gap in the middle when you get rid of the exhausts, I'm actually going to go for the twin side pipes, because it's actually on both sides as well, which is pretty cool, I think. So I'm going to go for that. Onto the grills, and we have the stock, then we have the removed grill, then we have the framed grill, just adds a nice little frame to the edge, then we have the shark grill, then we have that in chrome, secondary, which again is actually chrome for us, and carbon, and then we have the mesh grate grill, which is just a very fine mesh on there. Then we have the diamond grill, just a larger pattern mesh, then that version in chrome, secondary, and carbon, and that's it. Now, definitely don't like the thin mesh. It looks a little bit too modern. But this sort of diamond grill, it sort of works. It's definitely sort of resto mod style grill, which I'm quite a fan of. But I'm wondering if maybe we should go for something a little different. But if we're going for like the classic look on this one, oh, man, it's a cross between the shark grill, the stock, or the diamond grill. I'm going to go for the diamond because it just looks cool. Then onto the hood, we have the stock, we have the remove, of course. Then we have the carbon hood with the bonnet pins, as you can see there. The ridged inset hood, then the carbon version of that. The vented hood, carbon version of that. Then we have the sports hood, carbon vented. Is that chrome? It's actually, that might be the secondary colour on those vents. Do you know what? I'm going to test that out right now. Yes, it is. Okay, just so we can confirm, that is the secondary colour there. I'm going to change that to red so we can clearly see. And also, I've just noticed that also covers the door handles. Interesting. So then we have the sticker bomb hood. Then we have the vanity hood. I mean, these are just... I've also just noticed we've got red rings round the lights as well. That's another thing that adds in the secondary colour. Interesting. Yeah, this hood does not fit this car or the era it's from at all. Not a fan. But then we move on. We have the carbon version. Then we have the indent hood. Now, I quite like that. It sort of looks like a classic 70s Ferrari. It does feel it's like of the generation of this car. I think that fits really nicely. And then we got the carbon version. Also notice we got the secondary colour on the pulls of the locking pins on the bonnet as well. Then we also have the classic vent hood. Now that's more my thing. That's quite nice. And you can see through the engine, so it works in many ways. But that is very old school looking. I love that. But then we have the carbon version with the secondary colour, everything else, which I think ruins it, to be honest. Then we have the intake hood, and then the carbon intake hood, and that is that done. Now, I was going to go for subtle on this one, so I think the classic vent hood might be a little bit too much. But I think we can go for the ridged inset. I think that looks quite nice. Moving on, we've got horns, lights. I'm going to ignore all of those. Liveries. we have none, stock, and then we have hard stand strip, just this nice hard stand line down the bottom there, and also I believe on the bonnets, there we go, hard stand on the bonnet right there. Then we have the orange 190Z, which also has this really nice wrapped ring style thing around the back, very old school, quite like that. 190Z on the side and on the bonnet as well. Then we have It's Lower. I don't know what that means, but it's also got a stripe around the back, stripe going round, and it's in black with a black bonnet as well. Then we have the sponsor bash, which basically just seems to just add loads of sponsor stickers to it. Definitely quite modern racing stickers. Doesn't fit this car. Then we have Red Jackal Racing. That's a very modern graphic. I would say again, doesn't suit this car, although this rear ring does, but the rest of it, no. Then we have the blue version. Again, it's too modern. It doesn't work. The red Karin Stream, slightly more old school looking, but not really. I mean, it also says Karin there if we got rid of the rear plates. Then we have the green Karin Stream with the Karin logo. This is too modern. And then we have a classic rally to finish, which has really modern looking fonts. That font looks too clean. It doesn't look classic to me. That just looks like a modern remake of a classic. Yeah, I actually don't like any of these liveries. Or this one, Amigas Watermark. This is the final one. And again, I don't like it. I've got to be honest, I don't like any of those racing liveries. I like the hard stand strip. I like the orange 190Z. I think we might be able to use that. But that's it. I think we're going to use the hard stand strip for the first one because it's nice and subtle. I quite like the look of that one. Don't know what hard stand is. I think it's a brand. But it's quite nice. It would have probably been better if it said Karin or something like that to make it a bit more on brand. Or maybe just a black version of the 190Z one would have been nice. Then we have the mirrors. We really need to change this red soon because it looks awful. So we have the removed mirrors. We have the chrome detail. We have the secondary colour. We have the carbon. We have the stylized mirrors. Just slightly different looking. Then we have the chrome versions, different colour versions. Then we have the classic mirrors. They look nice. I like those. And then we have those in different versions as well. I'm going to go for those in classic colour style. Then onto the plate. Let's go for a nice blue plate to try and match with the era. I think it's blue. Black seems a little bit too old, but I could be wrong. Respray we'll leave till last. Spoiler. Got a huge selection here. We've got the classic spoiler. Just a nice little one there. We've got the carbon low level, perhaps a bit too much for this one. Then we have the bootlit spoiler, nice, subtle, that's my sort of style. Then we have the blackened version, which looks like plastic or rubber. And again, quite old school, I like that. Then we have the secondary colour, then we have the carbon, then we have the dovetail spoiler. And then we have those in different ones, including the rubberized one, which is pretty nice. Going through those. Then we have the drift spoiler, just even bigger, again, different versions. Then we have an extended section one. Oh, I like that. I like that. It's a bit out there. It's a bit much for this car, but do you know what? I like it. And then we have, ooh, race spoiler. Maybe that'll work on a build. Oh, the chrome garage spoiler. Or just the normal garage spoiler. That's pretty meaty. That thing is massive. Look at all the bracing that you have to get to actually for it to hold on. That is insanity. I'm not sure if a build's going to work with that, but I might give it a try later on. For now, I think that nice rubberized one right there. Just this nice simple rubberized boot lip spoiler. That's a classic style. Then we have suspension. As we're doing the online build, I'm just going to go and lower that. Transmission, turbo, wheels, and also windows. We'll keep the windows stock actually because it's nice and classic. We'll do the wheels. Let's see what we can find in here. Maybe something in tuner will work. Do you know what? One of these actually might work quite nicely. That works. That's pretty Japanese style. In fact, all of these look quite nice, to be honest. That's quite nice. The El Quattro. I like that. I'm going to go for that. And as you can tell, the wheels didn't stick out, which makes me believe that that arch thing is going to look weird no matter what the car. So let's just go ahead and pick some paint colours. And I'm just going through these colours now, and I've got to say that it's just one of those cars where every colour works. And also, this gold and bronze definitely makes it look like a nice vintage classic car. Although that might be a little bit too deep. But even things like the gasoline green and stuff just look really nice for this car. Even the browns, again, all looks really nice. But do you know what? If I'm going to go for the nice, subtle classic build to start with, I think I might go for a silver. Maybe the stone silver. That does look nice. Or rolled steel, actually. Rolled steel is the winner. Or silver. Just silver. I like it. Maybe there's something in metals that will give us another similar effect. That brushed aluminium does look quite nice. Does look very classic. Do you know what? Brushed aluminium it is. And also we can have the secondary color. I'm going to go ahead and change that to chrome. Just make everything nice and chrome. And we can also change the trim color. We can have that black with wood. Now, that does look quite nice. That looks really retro and classic and cool. I'm just going to go for straight black. But I mean, we could also go for something like a brown or something like that. It still works, but there we go. What a beauty. Nice and simple. So now that we've done this, we can make way for the crazy. We're going to use V-Stancer. We're going to use the trainer. Might be able to get some custom paint colors in there as well. I think we might have access to the worn colors and the utility colors that we normally get in menus mod. So that's going to be pretty cool. But this is nice. It's actually quite fast when it's all tuned up. Not too shabby. And sounds beautiful as well. Oh, I just love that raspy sound. That is lovely. Right, so for these next builds, I'm going to pretty much just time-lapse through most of them, and then we'll go ahead and jiggle around with the stance and everything else and see what sort of cool builds we can make. Let's find somewhere to park. And do you know what? Just here is going to be fine. I think that's going to be out in the sun. Yep, that works. Right, let's spawn in another one. Okay, I've just spawned in the next one, and can I just say, this is spawned in a really nice classic colour. It's sort of a satiny matte brown with black wheels. This does look really nice. And if we actually just look on the interior here, yeah, look at that. That's not too bad. But we're going to modify it, so let's go. Okay, so I pretty much finished the base part of this build. I'm still not entirely certain on the colors. By the way, there is a huge color selection, and it's not really laid out right because it's like utility and worn is in the same section, but there's a lot of colors to pick from with this one. And we can also, quite interestingly, change between normal, chrome, metallic, pearl, and matte on the fly, depending on what color you pick, which is actually really cool. That's something that I wish menus mod would have. That's a really nice function. We could also set to random colors. We can also fade paint, which I'm not sure if this one has paint fade, so we'll go ahead and turn that off. Let's try random colors and see if we can find some. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. Oh, it also changes the secondary. We'll definitely flip that round in a minute. Also changes, I've just noticed, the wheel color and possibly the interior color. Okay, no, the interior stitching. That must be tied to the primary. Ah, see, I wouldn't have noticed that detail if we hadn't pressed that button. There's some really interesting colors here, all of which aren't actually normal colors. These seem to be just random sort of RGB color things. Just give me a random color. It's nice and all, but I wanted to have a classic style. But this is supposed to be a drift style. We've got the bolted arches on here. We've got, of course, the law-friendly wheels mod. We've got these nice, awesome sort of mini-light style wheels, but obviously with the chrome edges in a three-piece split rim style. Oh, man, I think I'm going to have to just pick color secondary, get a black or something like that. I don't know if I can select. Where can I select chrome? There's apparently a secret gold one. Don't know what that is about. Secret gold? There's definitely a lot more colors than Rockstar normally let you use. Still don't know where the chrome is around here though. Or we could, just like this Modern Owls, look at this. We can change the RGB on the fly. Let's turn that green down. Get a bit more blue in there. Doesn't seem like we're changing. Oh, that's because I'm changing the secondary. That's why. Yeah, that seems to be the one downside is I definitely can't find where chrome is, but I can just go for a graphite. It still doesn't look too bad with it being in black anyway. And then we can also, for the primary color, we can actually just select RGB. Look at this. I mean, that is just crazy. So we can make this the exact color we wanted. Oh, that is fantastic. We can go a bit less on the green, maybe a bit more blue, a bit less red. I mean, that basically is turning into grey, I think. Definitely not used to playing around with this, but if we get to the darker colours, oh, look at that. Go for some green, in fact, perhaps a bit less green. Oh, man, this is insane. And also, this is actually changing all the colours. This is the secondary as well, and the wheel colour, I think. Actually, not the wheel colours, but definitely primary and secondary at the same time. We should probably go ahead and set those all to separate. Do you know what? I'm just going to go for a nice red. A nice simple red like we started with. Maybe utility red, because they're quite nice. Bright red. That's nice. And then secondary. Let's go maybe silver. There we go. That looks sort of chrome enough. Okay, we definitely won't be spending as much time playing around with these things once I get used to this mod, but I'm just having fun with it for now. So, let's go ahead and use V-Stancer, shall we? So, let's just go for stock wheel size on this one, and then I guess I'll change it up for the next one. We'll just do the stance with this one. So let's go for suspension menu. First of all, we just want to bring that track width out. Oh, look how much better that looks already. Just getting that out there has made a world of difference. Definitely these wheels are really big though. If we want to get this lower to the ground, smaller wheels. We'll leave that for the next one. So for this, we'll have that brought out. I'm just going to get a little bit of camber going, because why not? And then that rear height drops to about there. That should be good for both sides. That's not glitching through. And then on the front, track width out. As this is supposed to be some sort of drift car, I'll actually just get a bit more camber on the front of that one. Maybe that looks a bit more drift styly. There we go. Look at that. And also, as you can see where the wheel is glitching on that left side, we can use the different style arch that we have, like the trim style. But sadly, we don't have that option on the front, so it is glitching through regardless. We can't really help that. It's just the design of the car, I guess. But we can bring that out. Bit of camber. And maybe we'll just have that height just a little bit higher. It's not perfect. These wheels definitely need to be smaller. And also, these wheels definitely need to be another colour. Let's go for something like a light grey. There we go. That's better. And also, by the way, I can even put rim colours in worn and utility and stuff as well, which is pretty nice. We've also got the secret gold, which is actually, to be honest, a bit too yellow. Do you know what? That brushed gold does look nice. I'm going to go for that. So there is our second build. Done. And we finally have access to V-Stancer, although I've got to say that, yeah, we're going to have to not move if we want anything to not break through. The second we start moving, that just dips through. But that is gorgeous. That is beautiful. But this next one, I want to get it slammed right down to the ground. So let's pull up again. Park in the same spot. Why not? Seems like our car hasn't despawned. We might as well just keep it going. Even though we just scratched this one up. And let's build the third. Right, I'm just going to pause it here because in this build, I'm actually going to go for a bonnetless look because I'm curious to see what it looks like. And now that we have the camera like this, we can actually have a closer look at this engine stuff that we had before. So as you can see, there's the carbon fiber version, there's the normal, and then we have the trumpets. And then we have the normal with these mesh things right there, which look a bit odd from here. But now that you look in, I understand why they look white. It's actually just the mesh. And then we also have these bits at the front. We have that one with the 190Z. Then we have that. Then we have the stock. Anyway, let's resume. Okay, so I think I've done with the final base build. There's another really cool thing I've noticed with these paints, and that is when I've gone for the paint type. So we have the chrome, right? We have this color in normal, then we have it in metallic, just gets rid of some of that white shine there, I guess because of the metallic colors and the pearlescent stuff. Then we have the pearl version again. We need to select the pearlescent color to really see the difference there. Then we have matte. Then we have metal. And metal has this really cool sort of, it's sort of shiny, but it's got this texture to it, and it's not super reflective. It's really cool, and it looks like sort of almost like a low-grade paint in some respects. And so I just think, compared to mattes that we've always used, why don't we go for this metal in something like this color here? I mean, we could also, we could change it around. I mean, that green did look a tiny bit too reflective. We could actually maybe change, what's this matte olive drab? I don't know if that's going to make it look any different. It's not too bad. There's something about it that I think with some colors that could look really nice. But I did want to make this a sort of green. I think that can work. I really wanted to make this ratty. This was the best I could manage. So I've gone for no bumper. I've gone for no bonnet. I've gone for these nice wheels. And I've gone for this big, massive wing at the back. So all that's left to do is V-stance it. And of course, as I said before, I wanted to change the wheel size because these wheels are a little too big. So let's bring it down to about there. That might be a little bit too small. maybe around there. That's definitely smaller than what we had before. And I'll go with a little bit of wheel width as well. Just to make them just, oh, that's beautiful. Just to make them even more deep dish. That is nice. Then let's go ahead and change the radius so we can get the collisions working. And then the same for the rear. That's all done. Perfect. Now all we have to do is, in fact, let's just get onto the pavement so we can see this a little bit better in the sun. There we go. Let's have a look. Let's go for some rear camber. Bring that out right there. I'm definitely going to change the collisions on the wheels as well. Actually, that might be all right. Actually, the collisions are fine. They work pretty nice. I'm going to go for just as mad as I can with this one. I really need to get this madness out of my system. These might be just too big again. We might have to go even smaller because we can't really lower it down as much as I wanted it to. I mean, that's pretty low, but we could definitely go lower. Let's get a little bit less camber on that to bring that round. There we go. That's pretty nice, though. Ooh, that is so nice. And then the track width on the front. We can definitely get a lot lower than we could with the other one. That's for sure. And there we go. Down there. Some front camber to bring that in. Yeah, we're going to have to... We either have that, like, just tucked in as the style, or I'm going to have to rise on the front. Do you know what? That's okay. We can cope with that. It's going to look a bit crappy when we start moving because it's just going to dip through. But how about that? That's definitely lower than the other one. Let's just try and move that back. We probably could get even lower, even more scrapey, but you can see already the massive difference that has made between these two. If I just go ahead and just look at that, maybe a bit of zoom in, we're definitely gonna have some cars in our way, but that's definitely a lot lower. Oh man. That is awesome. I've also just noticed that this one's reset anyway, so I guess we're not really going to see properly how that's supposed to look. But that is beautiful. Definitely overstanced, but yeah, do you know what? I could see that being in Speed Hunters. I could see an article in Speed Hunters about that, for sure. Right, I'm actually just going to make these wheels slightly smaller, see if we can get slightly lower before we end the video. And there we are. Look at these. We actually need to get on a bit more flat land, because definitely the ones on the left look a bit too... in. I think we might actually just have to rise that a little bit there. That's a little bit off. There we go. That's a bit more like real life, especially with that massive camber. Yeah, that's going to work. And there we have it. All we need to do now is just get it even lower. On the front, get that down. Oh, that is proper slam now. Look at that. That is super low. And then the same on the rear. Rear height. Ah, beautiful. And we'll just get a little bit more camber there just to tuck it in. And do you know what? That's that done. I'm sure some of you guys are going to hate this, but I really wanted to make things unique that you would not see in online and try and just really push these cars to their limit in terms of style. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below which one of these is your favorite. Oh, this is the new camera mod, by the way. You can actually look at things a lot slower. Definitely cool for getting some up-close shots and some nice sort of... There we go, look at that. Isn't that awesome? So there we go, guys. I want you to let me know in the comment section below which is your favorite. This has been a really long video for me. I'm going to try and cut it down and edit it to be shorter. This is an hour-long recording for these cars. I have no idea what this is actually going to be in its final thing. It's a shame this one reset. I don't know what happened there. But there we go. Let me know in the comment section below which is your favorite build. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.